And I'm so happy that I did this.
Hello and welcome. This is Playstyle podcast after a long time, and this is after a long time because I finally got someone super exciting to talk to, and I messed up all the connections for the chat as well just because of this excitement with who I'm talking to. I will just let my guest introduce themselves. So hello and welcome, Mr. Gagan.
Hi, guys. I'm Gagan Dev Riar, and I'm an actor. I've been acting in theater for the last 22 years. And recently, you can see me on an OTT platform, Scam 2003 for Sony Live. And that's my little introduction.
Yeah, like it's very humble. So he's the main character on Scam 2003. I have been a fan of the series. I'm waiting for the second part now. And the way I reached out to you was basically I was like, oh, who is this new face that I'm super impressed with the work? And then in their bio, I saw I was checking Instagram account, of course, and I saw your bio as avid gamer, and I was like, let me just go and write to them. Like, might as well shoot your shot. So that's what we are here to talk about games. So
Yeah.
it's not like your any other thousands of interviews that you have given after the after this. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
I make games. I've been making games for like 13 years or more now. So I'm
Wow.
working mostly on mobile games. I've worked on web games everywhere, like I've been around. And then it's just like exciting to me to always talk to players. And so I'm always looking out for how do I talk to people who play games? And my problem is whenever I ask people to, hey, would you talk to me about games? Everyone feels like I will ask something heavy or something that they don't know. Even with everyone, even with my wife, I'm like, yeah, you play games. And she's like, no, I don't. And then I count all the games that she plays. She's like, yeah, of course. Yeah, I do. It's my problem to find more people. So I keep reaching out to more people. So thank you for being here.
Thanks
And
for
before
inviting.
I go into a lot of more monologues, let's start about the topics.
Perfect.
Just give me like some gist of what kind of games do you play, or what do you remember initially about getting into games? I have no idea, so let's just start from there.
Uh, I've been always interested in games since my childhood. When Contra and Mario and Tanks, those 999 games
Yes,
in that
yes.
socket, those small consoles used to come, and also 9999 games in one cartridge that used to give. So, but I never had a gaming console, not even that smaller one. My father couldn't afford it, and also there was a huge no-no to games, wasting time on games in my family, because I come from a family of freedom fighters. So they were very particular about Subha, what time to wake up, what should be your routine, what should be your regime, and how much studies time you have put in studies and everything. So I never got a gaming console, but I remember going to these gaming shops where you used to give like 1 rupee to play for half an hour or for 1 hour, and you can choose the game you want to play and you can keep playing it. So I remember saving money for that also from my pocket money. It was only in 2012 or 13, I think, when my brother, who actually migrated to US, California, he gifted me a PS3 in 2013, and I started playing my first television video games on television on PS3, and that's when I actually rekindled my joy for playing games. Otherwise, in those times, even mobile phones used to have very limited amount of games. So I used to play like games like Monkey Kong, where Kong has to jump over the cliffs to get the bananas, and those kind of games I used to play. But I never had a console. First, I bought a smaller console actually, and I started playing badminton with my friend. where two players can, start playing. And then I got PS3. In PS3, my first co-player game was Resistance 3 at that time.
Yes, it was. Yeah, I
Yes.
remember.
And in PS3 there was this whole idea of where you can play in split screen. So we both could play on the same console on the same television with two different remote controls. Then in 2015, I think when PS4 came out, I bought PS4, and I was very disappointed to know that they have removed those split screen games because I was not able to play with my friends anymore in the same space. Now I could only play online. So after that, my co-op gaming actually went down because I didn't want to sign up for PlayStation Online to play with people who are not even in the room. I mean, and putting headphones and talking, not understanding each other. So that didn't work. And for that also, we needed to have a PS4 for that friend also, who could not afford it at that time. So that went down. But that's when I started playing more of these open world story based role playing games, or the first person shooters. And that's when I was introduced to all these games like The Last of Us, The Witcher, Wild Hunt, Red Dead Redemption. And since then, I have been playing alone mostly on PS. And recently, I have, like 3 months back, I bought a new PS5. So I'm trying all the games which are on PS5 now and trying to upgrade them and play. So that's the whole journey.
Yeah, awesome. Like the plus one for the PlayStation gang. Even I'm on PlayStation now. So this initial experience of those 9999 in one games and like putting 1 rupee games. That's like with the people I have spoken to, and especially with our similar backgrounds, it's always like that's where we got introduced to it, and it's super relatable. Oh, you have to study. You shouldn't play games. Is like a common theme with everyone we speak, and that I think is. I mean, I know where it comes from, and for me, I'm privileged enough to have skipped that and gone into actually making games. So now it's like, yeah, but yeah, I can get it. And thanks for sharing this entire journey. I'll have a lot of things to ask you about. And what are you currently playing? Because I also got PlayStation 5 recently. I haven't played a lot.
Okay.
But are you playing anything recent that you can tell about?
Recently, I have finished around, say, 70% of Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, okay.
And I'm around 70-75% in Far Cry 6.
Nice. Yeah, I started both of them. I gave up halfway through. It's just like long stories make me like tired. So
They are long
just,
stories, yeah.
But do you just play on PlayStation, or do you have any other platforms that you play on?
I do play on mobile. On mobile, I don't play those. But so it's actually quite opposite to how I play on PS5. A PS5 game would be more like for myself when I'm alone, when I just want to concentrate, get lost in the world of these beautiful made open world games, where you just go on a journey, you complete your side quests, you complete your story missions, you just like you want to live in that world. And at that time, I don't even get disturbed by like even if somebody is calling me or messaging me, I just put it aside. I just want to be in that world. On phone, I play mostly actually co-op games, like online games which involved immediate team making, but not PUBG. I go for the arena games, not PUBG and the shooting games. I go for those arena games like Clash of Titans, if you have seen, where it's a diamond-shaped arena where there are like 12 pillars of the opposite party and 12 pillars of yours, and you have to take those towers to reach the base. And you team up with different four more players online, and the opposite team has 5 players. One is a marksman, one is like a assassin, one is a warrior, one is a tank, and one is a mage. Those kind of team. and they all have different powers. Yeah.
Yeah, like MOBA, the Arena of Valor, and those kind of things. Are you?
Arena of Valor,
Yeah.
exactly. MOBA games. Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah, that was a term I was looking for.
Yeah, it's the multiplayer online battle arena. That's what they are called. So that's why it's MOBA.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. That's what I was getting to because like when you're playing on a console, the experience is very different than when you're playing on phone, and your space is different. So
Yeah.
now I'll ask you like something related to your work. Like when you play on consoles, on the stories and anything, like do you see some similarities with the kind of work you do, the stories you tell, whereas the games are telling, or does it help you in any way? I'm just randomly making this up.
No, actually, yeah, you have a point there. So I feel because I'm an actor, so I always get a script, and then I get a layout how to go about it. I get a direction, and in direction I have to find certain things about my character, about the storyline, and then I have to execute them and see whether they've been executed properly or not, or are they going to give me any result back. That's what I do as an actor. And I think there's a similar kind of situation in these story open world games where I've been given a direction. I have to solve a puzzle. I have to get into the psyche of how the game player has made those hurdles or those puzzles which I have to solve. And then I apply myself, I apply my brain, I think, I choose a path. I sometimes I'm wrong, sometimes I'm right, sometimes I hit the jackpot, and I ultimately finish it. I understand the direction of the game, and then the next puzzle becomes easier for me, and the next puzzle becomes easier for me. So that similarity is there, I think.
Very
The word.
interesting. That's why, like, I can relate to you liking more of this role-playing games because that's what you do in real life, technically.
Exactly. And rather than watching a film, a film in which an actor has acted and one story has already been told, I'm just a spectator. I can't do anything about it. But in a game, I have the power to do something, change the narrative, change something about it, and the controls are in my hand. So it's like working in a movie where you are the hero and you choose to play it the way you want, you know.
Yeah, that is very well put because that's the difference I also make when I watch movies versus play games. It's like when you're playing game, you are in that interactive environment, and especially in these open world big games that they have. Do you like generally focus on these only the role playing kind of games, or do you try to explore genres like sports or anything else like?
In fact, I did try a few times. My first game on PS3 was, as I told you, Resistance. It was the one prominent one that I remembered. But I started with NFS, the racing game. But after that, I couldn't find any NFS game which came close to the excitement that game had. I don't know whether it was an NFS 2 or 3,
Yeah,
some
Underground 2
part at that
probably.
time. Maybe Underground. Yes, exactly, exactly. After that, they didn't make those games that exciting. There were many things added, but those features just got confusing, and the main gameplay got lost some.
Yeah, I think that's the case with everyone who has played an NFS or that game, but in particular, it's just everyone's waiting for that same kind of feeling. I agree to that. I have tried so many newer NFS games, it just doesn't feel like it.
And I also tried FIFA a few times, but uh, I I don't know. Maybe I'm like a inside my mind. I'm also a tourist kind of a person. So when I see a same arena, like a same place again and again, it could be a stress buster game. I can play it for like half an hour, 45 minutes, and maximum 1 hour, but then I'll get bored. But in a story-based game, I get lost in the story because I get to visit places. I get to explore areas, the maps, and the scenery, and how beautiful the game is made, actually.
I like that comparison because for me it's like kind of opposite. because I go back to my FIFA or a cricket or something as my stress buster because that's the time I have. And then for all the story based games, oh no, I have to think about this. I have to be there in the story. Let me do it later. That's why initially I said I tried Ghost of Tsushima. I played like a couple of hours and I'm like, I know this is a huge game. I won't have time for it. That's a very good way to put it, like those two comparisons. Talking about like the RPG elements and the games that you said world was one thing that you are excited about. Is there anything on the mechanics or your controls or what happens in the game that kind of you like or makes you play that game more? Like for example, Far Cry 6 is one kind of game. Ghost of Tsushima is another kind of a game. What do you think is something that you like more about Far Cry 6 or Ghost of Tsushima in particular?
Again, see, it's a different map, it's a different story and different worlds, right? My favorite world would be somewhere when I play a period game, which is based on a period drama. Like The Witcher is one of my favorite open world games. I have played it like completely. I have not left even one side mission. I have just like gone to every area and checked 1,000 times if I am missing on, there is a term called 100% game completion. So every nook and corner of the map, you find certain hidden objects, certain side missions are given, or certain boxes of gold, or some armor, or some kind of weapon. So I have played that game so thoroughly that I have not left the map, like I've cleaned it, like swiped clean, you know. And same thing I have done with the game, which is again one of the most beautiful, I think, open world games made till now. Is called Red Dead Redemption.
I was waiting for you
2.
to say that. Yes.
Yeah. So now, so first time when I played it, I just went with the story. At that time, I was not very evolved with these kind of games or how to complete them. So I also used to get bored. And I just rushed to the story. I did not check. I did not do the side missions of finding treasure or finding hidden objects somewhere, understanding or finding the some what you call them, Easter eggs in a game. Easter eggs like some nice Arabian horse in the north somewhere, or a red Arabian horse in those other areas. So I did not go for them. But after playing it, and after 1 year of playing it, I just felt like going back to it again for some reason. Maybe that world was calling me, or something, a pull that I felt, and I started playing it again. This time I played it so thoroughly that I took actually 6 months to play it.
Okay.
6 months I was just playing it, and still, because I knew story-wise in the first game that Arthur dies at the lead character dies at certain point of time, and John Marston comes in, who was the protagonist of the first game.
First game, yes.
Which is a sequel actually. This is a prequel, so.
It's okay. Like spoilers are okay. Red Dead has been long released.
Yeah, now it's exactly. So now I am at a point where Arthur can be, if I do the last story mission, Arthur can die any minute. And I am so much in love with Arthur right now that I don't want him to die. And I'm finishing everything as Arthur, like doing random things in the map, trying to get into the locked down area, which only as John Marston you can go. So I'm going online and checking those videos where there are glitches and people are talking about that there is this glitch and you can actually go back to this area, so I'm trying everything. I'm by hook or crook, I want Arthur to get into the Blackwater area, which is actually an area that opens up only when you play as John Marston.
Yeah, right.
So, so this is the kind of games that I get lost into. Far Cry, on the other hand, I will say it's a one-time experience for me. Like, I'll do it for the freshness of it, to see what development they have made, because I really liked Far Cry 4, which was the Kairat, the entire Nepal and Ladakh area of India. That's why I really liked that map. But after that, Far Cry 5, I did not enjoy much. Far Cry 6 is interesting, but I play it only for the adrenaline rush kind of a thing, not as a like getting lost into the game and living the world.
Yeah, and also like I don't know, for me it's like when we do like if it's a first person shooter, then I get like very it's very difficult for me to control on a controller. Do you think that's the case?
Yeah, see, yeah, so till yesterday I was playing Ghost of Tsushima, and as I told you, I have completed 80% of it. Now, the last 20% were not as exciting. It was getting a little repetitive for me. So I just thought that I'll give it a break. And I picked up Far Cry today in the afternoon, which I already completed before Ghost of Tsushima, 70% of it. And the sudden change of third person, the person in front of you, to the first person shooter, it actually did kind of, what you call that, disorient me.
Yeah.
It did that. But then I get hang of it in the sense, I take that as a challenge as a gamer.
Yeah.
Like, oh, how can I not understand it? I need to get back to it,
Yeah, and I think since you also said like you got mostly into the PlayStation or the console way of playing games, that would also depend, because for me it was initially I used to play on a PC, so first person shooters on PC was in my head easier. So now
exactly.
from that I can't get through that mental block of being good at first person shooters on a controller. It's just weird for me. And then let's now come to mobile games, because you also suggested like you play the MOBA kind of games. Is there anything else you try out, or anything that you look for in those games?
I have tried Subway Surfers. I have had it on my phone for many years. I think 3-4 years it was on my phone. But then again, that whole thing of I'm not very good with the speed of it. I think that's why I don't like FIFA that much, because there is a lot of quick thinking.
Okay,
so
that's interesting.
And it's always quick. It's always quick. It's not like it gets easier anytime. It's always very quick. What gives me time in the story-based games and exploring map games is like I can take my time. I can think about it. I can plan about it. I can go to a vantage point. I can see the entire camp. I can plan my move and then I execute. But Subway Surfer can give you an adrenaline rush for some time. You swiping, up, down, side, up, down, side. And then after some time, it's like my mind gets tired.
I can totally understand. It's okay. Like I understand.
And then I'm like, oh, this is not for me, man. I can't do it anymore.
But do you play any other puzzle kind of games which are more slower or something?
Yeah, sometimes I do. Right now, I think I have on my phone called a game Sudoku. It's based on Vudoku or Vudoku. It's a Tetris kind of a game, but in a Sudoku puzzle style.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I just Googled it. I saw the image. Yes.
So you do the Tetris kind of a thing, but then you have to complete the one line or one block or something like that, and then you keep playing, and the score keeps increasing. Also, I played Remove the Pins. That was very popular in between, where some few balls are falling out of these very complicated pathways, and you have to remove the right pin to direct the balls into going into the right direction.
And there's a very relevant question. How do you find these games? Like this particular, I kind of know the answer, but let me ask you.
I think sometimes they come on my Instagram page also, because I keep searching for the games. So the advertisement is there, and if I like the advertisement, then I think of like when I'm getting bored, like waiting to board my plane at the airport, and I don't have anything. I cannot play PS5. I cannot I cannot indulge in a half an hour long MOBA game, obviously, because that involves matchmaking and then playing the game, and then you are penalized for if you're not completing the game.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
what
don't want to.
when you gave those examples, I was like, yeah, definitely you're getting Instagram ads or somewhere you're getting ads to get this, to get this. So, it's
Exactly.
interesting because that's where most of the people I think are like discovering games as well, because and that's why advertising for mobile games is like a big thing, like a big vertical in itself. But that's separate.
I
So,
also get Subway Surfers ads sometimes.
ah,
Then
well,
every time they are improving a game or coming up with a new version,
yeah.
there is an ad. Yeah.
Yeah, you would probably see some of our posts on social media or something because it's quite
Yes.
active over there. Oh, interesting. So,
And it's a popular game.
so
It's
yeah,
a
it is.
very popular game.
It is the most downloaded game ever on mobile, like in its history.
Oh,
So
I didn't know that.
yeah.
I didn't know
So
that.
it is still like from the time of mobile game industry, it is the most downloaded game ever. Thanks for like putting some more thoughts on what you like. Let's just flip this again. What is it that you hate about games? Like you have played something and I don't like it, or you are like, oh no, if this game has this, I'm not going to try it.
See, recently, I don't want to take names here. I don't know. I might have to do the voice acting for some of them. What I don't like about any game would be there is a term called a bloated game. Especially the games I play, especially the games which I play based on stories or open world games. Sometimes I think in order to give more to people or more experience, they bloat it with many unnecessary things, and the basic joy of playing the storyline or doing simple things becomes like, I think it's just to justify the prices that they are charging for those games. So if they have created that map, then there are some ridiculous things you have to do, ridiculous missions, side quests, which do not make any contribution to your emotional or playing satisfaction. Like I loved Assassin's Creed Origins. I thought it was because they actually shifted the entire whole assassination game to an open world game kind of a thing. It was not that much of an open world before that game. Assassin's Creed Origins became like a combat game, and not only about the assassination and the stealth.
It's the
We
one
could
with
take open battle.
Egypt, right?
The Egyptian
Yeah.
background, yes. So I really loved it. But then after that, they wanted to take that idea further, and they came up with Odyssey.
Yeah, I played
And
Odyssey.
Odyssey was difficult to complete. It was like I'm hopping from island to island and doing some ridiculous missions. And earlier it was fun, like for some time it was fun. Then it became very repetitive and it did not give me any joy. So then I left everything and I just went for the story and finished.
Oh, you still finished it. Yeah, that's still quite a
I finished it
long
because
one.
at least I wanted to finish the story.
Yeah, because I remember playing Odyssey. Basically, I downloaded Odyssey because I had been to Greece recently and I saw a couple of islands and then I'm like, yeah, I want to play and I'll find those
Ah,
islands. So once I managed to go
okay.
to those islands in the game, I just stopped the game. I was like, my goal was to go to the islands that I had been to, and I'm like, oh yes, I have seen this over there. Then it's good, and I'll move on to next game.
Yeah, because I can relate to that completely. When I had played Assassin's Creed Unity, which was based in Paris, and then I went with my partner to Paris, and I went to Notre Dame, and there was this one mission in the game where I had to assassinate somebody in the Notre Dame church. And the way they had designed it, the accuracy of the design of that place was so astonishing that when I actually went in real life, I told my partner, over at the back of it there are these two confession boxes, and I had to kill a person through those confession boxes. And when we went to that place, there were actually those confession boxes there. So that kind of relatability I can understand. Like, these islands, because they make it all almost like exactly like that. They replicate it.
Yeah, a lot of my travels have also been like I've seen this in the game, now I see it in real life. It's so cool. Or the other way around. Because I think it was
Exactly.
Assassin's Creed 2 or Revelation somewhere. Like it was in Florence. So first time I went to
Florence,
Florence,
yes.
yeah, it was also I have seen this in Assassin's Creed, so I want to look at this.
That same thing happened to me in Watch Dogs 2. That was Chicago. And then I went to Chicago, and then I saw those bridges opening and closing as it was shown in the thing. I said, I've seen this area. I've been here. you know.
Yeah, it's like movies. Like I watch movies and then go to
Yeah.
that city and then I'm like, yeah, I know this person. Like Shah Rukh Khan was dancing there
Exactly.
basically. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's a good way to put that part also. That like when the immersion is broken just for the sake of like giving missions, it's annoying, and that annoyance is felt, but you don't know like what is annoying part of it generally.
You keep strolling through it, and then you're like, I'm not enjoying it. What do I do?
And what's the annoying bit of mobile games?
Mobile games mostly they don't annoy me because we don't. I don't play them for like long hours, so it's difficult to find out a mistake unless the game is not made properly. Unless the game doesn't have any basic idea, especially these construction games where you're building your palace, then you're building your like Age of Empire kind of a thing. They don't work for me on the mobile phone because I can't see the space properly as I could see it on a laptop when I used to play Age of Empires. I could see the area, what I'm doing, and it was very concentrated on one thing. Here, there are online things which keep disturbing, and then it takes time, so they want to make money out of it. So they give you these coins. You can buy these many coins for these many rupees online and make your construction faster and all that stuff. Like I really played SimCity for 1.5 2 years continuously without paying any extra money.
This was on mobile.
That was on mobile,
Ah, nice.
But then I got bored because as I was expanding and I was making my entire city, they kept, they kept the things purposely slow so that I'm forced to buy the coins online by paying rupees. So I annoy this whole thing of it's a free game, but there will be in-game purchases. So in-game purchases actually spoil the entire experience of free games. Then.
Yeah, fair enough. So and of course because you have the experience of playing the full-fledged like the big games which you buy and have a single player experience. It's different over here. That's what I wanted to get your thoughts on. But then do you also like in the mobile like games that you mentioned, do you like engage in any in-app purchases for increasing your stats or something like that?
I did. There was a game which I actually wanted to complete, and it hooked me completely. That was Plants vs Zombies. I think that is a very beautifully designed game, and at one point of time, it actually made me purchase the in-app, you know, bounties so that I could continue the game. And I did it once or twice maybe, but I cannot do it like you can't do it like again and again.
Yeah, fair enough.
But in Plants vs Zombies, I did buy once or twice. I think I had.
But that's a lot of like control that you have. That out of all these games, you just have Plants vs Zombies as an example. It's still a very true free experience that you go for.
I always go for that. I mean, I cannot. If the game is not doing anything to me, then it's not doing anything to me. No offense to anybody. I know there are more than 300, 400 people involved in making one small game also. So, no offense to them. They are all working hard, but it just doesn't work
No, but it's
sometimes.
fair enough. Like when you're consuming the game, you are just a player, and if it doesn't mean that everything has to, you have to like everything. Like there are so many games that
Yeah.
I wouldn't play at all, but they are amazing games, and it's just players' preference. And actually, that's the point of like why I reach out to people. Like it's just like me as a game designer talking to actual people who play games. Because when we talk about it, it's always like, these kind of players will like this kind of thing, but this kind of players, like we talk about very large X
Like
player,
target market.
yeah, target audience and everything. Like that's the general
Yeah.
jargon that we use. So then it's like for me to talk to actual someone who plays games, it's like I don't want jargon. I would just want to know what you like. It was really insightful. And if you just before like
Thank
we
you.
wrap up slowly, like if you find new games, how do you find new games? Like you saw Instagram ads was one of the things. How would you decide whether you want to play a new game?
See, I do follow certain people on. I follow certain channels on YouTube because PS5 games and playing solo in the solitude of my house, in the ekant of my house,
Yeah.
is my first thing. That's my first thing. Like mobile games come when I just have like a 1 hour or 2 hour gap and I just want a stress buster. Then I go for a mobile game. Mostly I go for only PS5 games where I immerse myself into the, you know, universe, the different uh, world that I'm going for. So for those PS5 games, I do follow certain YouTube channels which I believe that they give good reviews and what games are coming up and what games to follow. I keep watching trailers online, and I'm very much in which game is being made and when is it
Yeah.
going to release.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of podcasts over that. I watch reviews of the games. Those kind of reviews where people are saying like 10 things to know before you buy this game.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Is it your money's worth? So that I watch, and sometimes I just watch random videos. Like if I just see a new game's name and that game sounds something to me, what this game would be, what is it about? So let's try it out. Let's find it out. Then I watch the video and then I share it with my partner, who's also a very avid gamer, by the way. She plays with me most of the time,
Nice.
and we take turns.
That's
We
that's why
take
you
turns.
get a good amount of time to sit in your ekant and play.
That is the plan that I made long back.
Good strategy.
So then I discuss it with my partner, and we share the idea, and then I see her reactions. Okay, this game, we can buy this game. We can, let's try this one. Let's try that one. That's how I go for it. Mobile games mostly, most of the time, I am very happy with Arena of Valor and Clash of Titans kind of games. Sometimes when I have only like 15-20 minutes, I go for puzzle games. I go for maybe Subway Surfer. Like there was another game before Subway Surfer that was Temple Run, like which is a similar concept.
Yeah.
Running and like quick thinking and making your way about. So sometimes I go for those games. Sometimes I go for the graphics. Sometimes I go for the beauty. Like there was this another game which was Minions that came based on Subway Surfer idea. Even the Spider-Man games have come, running games, Spider-Man running and fighting and jumping and everything. That was also there. So I try different games. I get bored with them after some time. Then I change them. Then I download another one.
Yeah.
So that's how it
as
goes.
expected. Everyone does that.
But there was one game which I played a lot on the mobile was Angry Birds 2, not 1.
Yeah,
2.
I know. Yes.
That was very brilliant. For me.
Yeah, it's quite
It worked.
well done as like it has a lot of things to do, a lot of stuff to
Exactly.
unlock and stuff. So do you look forward for that, like the long term aspiration that I have to get somewhere, or like because Angry Birds is also like you unlock more things and you go towards some final goal.
But Angry Birds does make me think about how to solve this particular puzzle. There is a puzzle. There are bricks. The whole structure that is made up of woods. and sometimes it's made of glass and metal, and what bird to use before and what bird I can use the last, what power which bird has. Every time it's different. But that was also, I think, long time back. I played Angry Birds in 2016 or 17 maybe. Since then, I have not played that game
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I think it still does a lot of new stuff, and there is a lot of stuff
Yeah.
which happens there. Nice. And then before we wrap up again, I'm saying the second
Okay.
time. So, is there anything you're looking forward to play now, or something that you would recommend?
On mobile or on PS5?
Anywhere, like anywhere.
On PS5, I am looking forward to play this game, which has. I wanted to play. Oh my God! How can I forget? After Ghost of Tsushima, I was planning to play,
The
which
new
is a
Assassin's
recent
Creed?
game that has come up. No, no, no. I'm actually taking a break from Assassin's Creed right now.
Or Spider-Man?
Yes, Spider-Man is the game that I'm looking for. The one with Miles Morales and
Have you
Peter
played
Parker.
the first two?
I have played the first one. Yes,
I
I have
think
played the first
even
one.
the Miles Morales.
No, I've not played Miles Morales. I have played only the Peter Parker
Okay.
one.
Yeah, I think they are very well done.
I'm waiting for it, and I might play that one. Another open world game is there, which I'm not recalling right now because I keep watching so many videos. And on mobile, I am actually waiting when will my Facebook account be associated or get unlocked with the Clash of Titans, because there is some kind of online problem that has occurred. Facebook has removed, because I logged in with my Facebook. Facebook has removed themselves, their company from these games, these online games.
Oh, okay. So your
So
account is like
online MOBA games, account is gotten blocked. So
you should just start a new game.
I did, but it's too much work again.
Yeah, I can understand it. It
All
will
that
make
power that I
yes.
had, I was almost like in Maharashtra, I was number one assassin.
Oh
So
wow. Okay. Like,
on
very pro.
that
Yes,
gaming
yes. Very
platform.
pro. Yes.
So, but I will. I think I will try. I will try that. Yeah.
Nice. Perfect. Like this was all I had to talk about. Like we can go on and on about
Perfect.
more particular games, but I think I should also let you go. So
It was very nice chatting with you.
thank you so much. Thank you so much for being part of this.
Thank you. Thank you. The pleasure is all mine, actually.
It was great. And yeah, for everyone else, this is Playstyle Podcast. This is the podcast where game designer speaks to the players. I had one more player today. Anyone else who is listening to this, if you are just a player, meaning you don't make games, then reach out to me, write to me at Playstyle Podcast on Instagram. I'm there. So I hope I can get more people to talk to me about games. I will love to talk more, and I think my guest today will say that it wasn't as boring, other than the hiccups.
No, not at all. It was a very fun session. It was a very fun
Yeah, it
session.
was something that you haven't given an interview about, I'm sure.
Not at all. And I'm so happy that I did this.
I didn't ask you any questions about anything related to Scam 2003.
Thank you
we
for
are,
that.
We are waiting for the next part. I think it's in a couple of weeks.
3rd of November, it will be out.
Awesome. I'll be binging that once it's out. So, thank you.
Do let me know what you
Yes,
think.
I'll definitely. Now I have your contact, so I'll write to you once I watch it.
Perfect. Perfect.
Thank you so much, and